I love Wicked. I saw the show probably 20 years ago, and now I have children, and I took them to see the play last year.
In the second movie, because we have much more time than we have in the second act of the show, there are incidents that aren't in the show. We're able to explore the characters with some more depth, and so that required adjustments in the music.
The second act starts in what would be considered the 2-3 act break of a movie, where like all the am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Probably not. The shit has hit the fan, and then it's a bullet train to the end of the movie. So that's not really the normal feeling you have when you go see a movie by itself.
Do you have something that you really love, like a new addition to the
Yeah,
story?
actually, yes. It's the moment when she comes. And Glinda thinks, oh, you came to my wedding, and we know that she came to confront the wizard, and then Glinda gets involved and says, I'm going to put a stop to this. And I love the moment when she says, you can't refuse someone on the day of their wedding. You can't. I just love that Glinda gets in there.
For Wicked Part 1, it was all a setup, so that we're introduced to these characters, we fall in love with them, and then to bridge over into For Good, it's seeing that evolution of how they mature, how the choices that they've made in Wicked Part 1, how they evolve, but also finding their own internal power.
Madame Morrible for us was such a complex character. She came in as the nurturer, the educator. So, she's the mentor that is also the manipulator. So you have to be very wary of people around you that are charming, that bend you to their will, and you begin to believe that their dreams are worth pursuing and you forget about yours. But Madame Morrible got lost and corrupted in her own desires and ambitions.
Tell me about when you fell in love with Wicked before getting involved with this.
Oh my gosh, it was the first musical I ever saw as a child in the West End in the UK. First time in London, and since then I've seen it about 9 times. If I don't include the films, it's more like 100. It's still kind of surreal. Even when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in that. That's very, very strange.
Oh, I was also interested to know, Michelle does some really interesting choreography when she's summoning a certain thing, and then were you involved at all in that movement as well?
That's one of the highlights of my life, actually. There was a moment, it was very fast process. It was like, we're on set, we're working together. I came into her tent, we're like working together, and I'm just like, this woman is a master at what she does. And we developed it together.
They understood. I also come from the background of dance, and I understand the rhythm and the emotion of what Madame Morrible can do. So basically what they did was they set up the scene. John M. Chu had the music because he knew the kind of mood he wanted to set it on. And Chris was always standing at the corner of my eye, to encourage certain kind of more shoulder, more arms.
It wasn't a conversation, a vocal conversation. We had it was like a movement conversation where we knew that, and she would just start to move with the influences from Tai Chi and from Kung Fu and martial arts. And through that, and then I do a lot of finger tutting and hand stuff. And so we had never said it verbally, but it was she would go into that world and I would work with her there, and then I would be and then little things like this. She'd be, oh, I like that.
And of course, Paul had designed the most amazing dress that had these long, sleeves that I could flick in the air, which I did. And the effect was spectacular.
Cinema magic, that's what it was. Tell me the inspiration, the process of each of these songs and writing these.
Well, just like doing a musical. There were story elements, story points that are in the movie that aren't in the show that required musicalization, and that's kind of my job. That's my job description.
Well, it was a lot of careful conversation about what was this moment in the show? Let's really excavate, really investigate that moment and understand how we could make it cinematic.
To see the phenomenon, what's happening with this film is kind of amazing. It's there's pink and green all over New York City right now, and it's awesome. And everyone showed up, and it's a little cold, and no one's complaining.